Good morning, everybody. This is Ganesh. So now we can start our session. I hope my voice is audible to everyone and my screen is also visible to everyone. Is it right or not? May I continue my session now? May I continue my session? Please respond anyone through chat box. Is it my voice is audible to everyone or not? If it is audible, I will try to continue my session. Please respond through anyone chat box. Actually now, okay, thank you. Thank you 550 and thank you 5H5. Okay. Uh, Now, in the last class, we were discussing about the file organization. So what is a file? What are the different types of file organizations? Okay, so just to try to revise once, and then we can go to the actual topic today. Okay, so just to try to revise today. Okay, what we were discussing in the last class. Okay, what is a file? So we also know about what is a file. File is nothing but a collection of records. Using the primary key, we can access the records. So nothing but when we are storing some data into the file, then we can retrieve the type of the file by using primary key. Okay, the type and frequency of access can be which was used for a given set of records. So nothing but here, so the type and frequency of access can be determined by the type of file organization which was used for a given set of records. So here we based upon to the according to our requirement, we can select any one of the file organization. Okay, so file organization is a logical relationship among the various records. This method defines how file records are mapped onto the disk blocks. Okay, file organization is used to describe the way in which the records are stored in terms of blocks and the blocks are placed on the storage medium. So we also know about that files are also belongs to the secondary storage device. So when we are storing some data into the storage medium, so those are stored as a some blocks. Okay, so now those are identified by using some particular primary key, so our index, so that can be used for to retrieve our data. Okay, so the first approach to map the database to the file is to use the several files and store only one fixed length record any given file. So nothing but here we are considered different types of files. Some of the files may be having the same length and some of the files may be having the different length. So if it is the same length, there is no problem. If it is a different types of length or variable length, so then we are so we need to so that is difficult compare with the so same length of the records. So nothing but here whenever variable length of the records are maybe stored into the storage medium, so then that is not able to easy to retrieve or record records. Okay, so then what are the objectives of the file organization? It contains an optimal selection of records, that is records can be selected as fast as possible. So nothing but here we are easily select our required records from the file organizations. To perform insertion, deletion, updation, and transaction on the record should be quick and easy. So we can easily perform any type of the operation on the files. And the duplicated records cannot be induced as a result of insert, update, or delete. So nothing but here there is no chance of occurring the duplication. So when we are performing the so either insertion, deletion, or updation. Okay. For the minimal cost of storage, records should be stored efficiently. So that means here we are not using heavy much of cost, just only we are using less maintenance, so to maintain the data. Okay, so different types of files, different types of file organizations are considered. File organization contains various methods. These particular methods have pros and cons on the basics of access. So nothing but here each and every file organization having the advantages at the same time disadvantages also. So why? Because so that is based upon to the access. So in which type of way we are accessing the data, whether we are accessing in the sequential way, or maybe whether we are based upon the random access way, or maybe we are using some other way. Okay, so that is based upon to the so way of accessing. So in the file organization, so the programmer decides the best suited file organization method according to his requirement. So here we are consider different types of file organizations. In the exam point of view, maybe explain about the file organization with examples. Then we can write any one of them, or we can explain any one of them with examples. Okay. So first of all, we try to say what is a file, then how we are storing the file, what are the operations on the files. So what are the operations of the files? We can open the file, we can closing the file, we can insert the file, we can delete the file, we can modify the file. Okay, we can update the file, we can execute the file. So all these are the nothing but operations of the files. All right, so here we are using different types of file organizations. Here in this organization, So the files are how we are accessing that type of the files in that particular organization. Okay, for example, if it is a sequential file, so we are search our required file one by one. So nothing that, for example, if we want to retrieve 100 file, so then we need to retrieve one by one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So up to receive 100. Okay. So in the same way, heap file organization here, in the case of heap file organization also, we are using some type of, it is a unordered structure. Okay. So just only we are randomly pick one particular file. In the same way, hash file organization, here we are using the hashing function. So based upon that function, we are creating some index for whatever it may be, we are creating the data. Okay, and index is a sequential access method. So nothing but here we are based upon to the sequential access method, but so those are we can identify by using index. So that's why we need to retrieve easily. And another one, B plus tree. So we're already discussing about the tree indexing method. So or maybe the tree index structure, or maybe the B plus tree structure. So how we are accessing the elements from the root node to the leaf node. So if it is the B plus tree, so only one root node is there. At the same time, all leaf nodes having the same distance from the root node. Okay, and we are using some rules. And at the same time, how we are search our required data item in the B plus tree. So based upon to the root node value, if it is less than the root node value, so the pointer moves to the left side. If the required value is greater than the root node, then so the right portion of the link will be suggested to search our required record in that particular tree structure. I'm right. In the case of clustered file organization, here also we are based upon the different types of indexes, but the same index will be referred to the more than one. So for example, if we want to, for example, if any one of the student parent is, so maybe meets his child in our college, then how he asking the address first of all? So he is asking, so where is the CSC department? Am I right? So then when he is entered into the CSC department, so number of sections are there, number of students are there. So nothing but it is a cluster. So for example, if the parent may be saying about the student details, so my student or my son or my daughter studying second year or third year. So then we can we there is a lot of students are available in the third year section. Am I right? So then he need to specify. So what is his student or student name? Am I right? So he need to specify first branch. So next he is need to specify the year of the study. Next he is need to specify the name. Am I right? So here need not to know the parents, maybe the number. Am I right? So they doesn't know about the your roll number, so they know only your name. So maybe they can able to maybe mention your initial. I'm right. So for example, so some initial name is specified, so the same initial name is also having more than one student, so in the same class. So maybe that type of the case is also occurred. So that means this is nothing but a cluster file organization. So nothing but here we are grouping some data, more than one data item, and those type of data items are identified by single ID. So for example, our department ID 500. So 501, 502, 503. I'm right. So for example, maybe so just our code, just I assume. So maybe our roll number starts, our department starts from 500. I'm right. So so what is our department ID is 500. So nothing but each and every student is having the same type of ID. So so that type of the group IDs will be referred as a cluster file organization. Okay, now we try to see one by one. So just to try to consider what is a sequential file organization, a small example. What is a heap file organization, a small example like that. Okay, in the exam point of view also, that type of the explanation is enough. Okay, for example, sequential file organization, heap file organization, hash file organization, B plus file organization, indexed sequential access method organization, cluster file organization. So now I try to see one by one. So sequential file organization. So this method is the easiest method file organization. Why? Because the name is simple, sequential. Okay. So in this method, files are stored sequentially. This method can be implemented in two types of ways. So in the last class also we're discussing about this. Just I try to revise now. Okay, so file method. So it is a quite simple method. In this method, we store the record in a sequence, that is one after another. Here the record will be inserted in the order in which they are inserted into the tables. In case of updating or deleting any record, the record will be searched in the memory blocks. When it is found, then it will be marked for deleting and so nothing but, for example, if we are inserting some file R1, okay, so next if we are inserting R3, that is the next file. If we are inserting some other one, that is the next one for the R3. In the same way, so we are for example, if we want to insert R8 now, so then that is the end of the queue. So this is same like as a queue. So what is the procedure for the queue? Actually, first time, right? So in the case of queue data structure, so which is initially entered into the queue, so that will be added at the end of the queue. Am I right? So the same thing will be followed. So for example, if we want to retrieve any one of the record from the particular data structure, so then how we can retrieve those type of records? First of all, we try to search the first one. So why? Because it is a queue data structure. So first in, first out. So the first item will be verified whether it is matched with our required record or not. So nothing but, so in the case of file organization, here whatever it may be the new record, so our new data item is entered, so that will be added at the end of the file. Okay, so insertion of the new record, for example here, so we want to suppose we have 4 records R1 R3 up to R9 and R8, okay, in a sequence. So hence records are nothing but a row in a table. Suppose we want to insert a new record R2, so where we are inserting the R2, so now that is added at the end of the file. So that means, so right hand side portion of their R8. Am I right? So just to try to see in the diagram, this is the starting of the file. So nothing but here we are not maintaining the sequence. For example, maybe so one of the faculty, maybe you please form me a line. So then all students are maybe standing in the position in a line, but there is no necessity. All these students are maybe standing in the roll number wise. Am I right or not? So who is maybe first entered into the line, so that person will be the first. Who is nested into the line, so that person will be placed into the next line. Am I right? So in the same way here also we are, whatever it may be, the new record is entered into the this file organization, so that will be added at the end of the record. But here the problem is, here advantage of this type of data structure is we can easily perform in the insertion. Am I right or not? So we need not to verify anything. So if any new file is there, so we can simply adding at the end of the place. But if we want to search, for example, if I want to search R4, so then I need to search total data structure items until the required record is available. Am I right or not? So here insertion is easy, but searching or deletion or updation is very difficult. Why? Because before performing any type of the operation on that particular data item, we need to search first. So here searching time is increased. Okay, so that's why that is the drawback for to this type of organization. So those type of drawbacks are recorded in the sorted file. So nothing but, before inserting into the file organization, first of all we try to verify which is the best place to insert into that. For example, if we are observe here, so here we are performing the sorted file method. In this method, the new record is always inserted at the file's end, and then it will be sort the sequence in ascending or descending order. So nothing but, initially we are adding that whatever it may be the new item is there. So but after inserting the new data item, then we are performing the search. So what is the best place? So what is the best place to locate in that particular file? So then we can easily retrieve that record whenever it is needed. So here insertion is problem. Okay, but so retrieving is very easy compared with the previous one. Okay, if you observe here insertion of the new record, for example, if we want to place the R2 is there, so we can move that position between that when placed between the R1 and R3. I think you are able to see in the screen. So that is the main advantage. Okay, so here we need not to discuss again what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages. I'm right. So next one is the heap file organization. So this is also same like as a tree structured. So if it is a tree structure, what it means, it is a nothing but a unordered structure. We also know about that. So what is a data structure? So we are arranging the data items in a particular structure is nothing but referred as a data structure. So we are having the two types of data structures. What are the linear data structure and non-linear data structure? What is the meaning of linear data structure? If you are arranging the data items in a sequential order or some particular index, so that is nothing but a linear data structure. If you are not based upon to the any type of the order, that is nothing but a non-linear. What are the examples for the non-linear data structure? Trees and graphs, am right? So what are the linear data structures examples? Arrays and linked lists. We also know about this. So why I am saying again, so if you are observing here, so heap file organization is same related like as the tree structure. So it is an unordered structure. Okay. So and we know one thing. So max heap and min heap. We also know about that. So how we are performing the max heap and min heap? So in the case of max heap, so we can place the maximum node compare with the left side and right child node. So which is the greater, that will be placed at the root node. Am right? So which is greatest for which is greater which is greater for to that particular node. So that will be placed at the right side, which is lower for to that one. So that will be placed at the left side. So that mannerism also followed. And another thing, so in the case of min heap, we need to place the minimum item in the root node, and we can place we can place any order. We also know about that. So different types of heaps are there. So in this heap file organization, it is the simplest and most basic type of file organization which works with data blocks. In heap file organization, the records are inserted at the file cell. So when the records are inserted, it doesn't require sorting and ordering of records. When the data block is full, the new record is stored in some other block. The new block need not to be the very next data block, but it can select any data block in the memory to store new records. To heap the file organization is also known as unordered file. In the file, every record has a unique ID and every page in a file is of the same size. It is the DBMS responsibility to store and manage the new records. So for example, if you observe here, so we are observing this. So R1, R3, R6, R4, R5. Okay, each and every data record having some data blocks is there. So if this block is full, so we can place for to the another block. Okay, if you observe here, R1 is belongs to the data block 2, R3 is also belongs to the data block 2. Okay, R6 data block 3, and R4 belongs to the data block 3, R5 belongs to the data block 1. So here, if you observe here, so the data block 1 538 is not representing anyone. So that is the empty. For example, insertion of new record. Suppose we have 5 records R1, R3, R6, R4, 5 in a heap, and suppose we want to insert new record R2 in a heap. If the data block 3 is full, then it will be inserted in any of the database selected by the DBMS. Let's say data block 1. So why? Because here, if you observe here, data block 3 is full, data block 2 is full, but data block 1 is not full. Why? Because 538 is empty. Am right? So that means each and every data record having some unique ID. So here we are not allowing nothing but redundant data. Am right? So if we are allowing the redundant data, we are not able to retrieve our required record. So as early as possible. Am right? So that's why. Here we are assigning some unique IDs for that, and here we are verifying. Here need not mention. So these are very order. Okay. So here just only we are nothing but considered as a individual records, but these are able to identify by unique ID. Okay. Insertion of a new record. So just we are observing now. So if you observe here, so R2 is inserted at 538 location. Okay. So if we want to search, update, or delete the data heap file organization, then we need to traverse the data from starting of the file until we get the requested record. If the database is very large, then search, updating, or deleting of the record will be time consuming because there is no sorting or ordering of records. In the heap file organization, we need to check all the data until we get the requested record. So this is also same like as a file organization. So when some particular new record is there, so that will be placed at some particular block, but we don't know so in which block the particular data item is available. At the same time, we don't know whether it is available or not also. So here the time consuming occurs when we are maintaining large amount of data. So this will be suitable for only less amount of data or small type of databases are only suggest for this type of organization. So we can select so which is best for to maintaining our data. So that is based upon the user. Okay, I hope all of the members able to understood this. So we can place easily insert the required record into that particular block, but we don't know whether it is available in the block or not. So here we need to perform sets. So it will be leads to the time consuming. So we don't know that. Okay. So that is the advantages we can easily insert. So disadvantages we can't find out within time. Okay. So that is the drawback for that. So next, so we are, so up to now we are facing some problems. So that is, so without index, we are not able to retrieve our required data with easily. Am I right or not? For example, if any one of the student may be asking, what is my attendance there? So actually in CSC, so for example, every year having the 200 students, am I right? So if you compare the 4-year students, 800 students are there. So then how we can find out the particular student attendance? So that is possible through using his index, roll number only. Am I right? Without roll number, we can't find out easily. So please just wait 1 minute. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. So that's why here we are based upon to the some index. So with that index only we are easily find out that particular record. Am I right? So hash file organization. Hash file organization uses the computation of hash function on the some fields of the records. So here before placing that particular data item, so here we need to perform some computation. So that computation will be referred as a hash function. So based upon the function value only, we are able to storing the data into the particular buckets. Okay, the hash functions output determines the location of the disk block where the records are to be placed. So we observe here, so R1 is placed in some block, and R3 is placed in some block, and R6 is placed in some block. Okay, when a record has to be received using this hash key columns, then the address is generated and the whole record is retrieved using that address. So in the same way, when a new record has to be inserted, then the address is generated using hash key. So here we are using hash key function. So and record is directly inserted. So the same process is applied in the case of deleted and updated. So in this method, there is no effort for searching and sorting the entire file. In this method, each record will be stored randomly in the memory. Okay. For example, maybe R5 is stored in some location and new record is there. So that will be placed into the some other block. So here the main advantage of hashing file organization is here we are based upon some hashing function. For example, if we want to store in some type of situations, we need to discuss so this topic elaborately in the next classes. Don't worry about that. So how we are calculating the hash key, how we are placing that the particular location. So for example, just I'm saying small example. So just we are consider some particular record. Okay, for example, we are consider maybe that value is, so that value is maybe for example 5. Okay, so what is the binary representation of that 5? So 101. We also know about that 101. 101 means nothing but a 5. So what about the 4? 110, sorry, 100. Am I right? So what about the 3? So 011. We also know about this. So here, so before placing the data item in some file organizations, so verifying the last 2 digits. For example, if it is a 5, so what are the last 2 digits? 01. So then we can place it at the 01 block. Okay, so that means, for example, maybe here the blocks are will be divided. So 0001 1011 like that. Okay, for example, whatever it may be the last 2 digits. So maybe more than one record having the same type of value. For example, maybe, so what is the one for what is the binary value for the one? I will try to explain through example, please. Just please try to see in the screen. So for example, what is the binary representation for to this 101? So then what are the last 2 digits for to this 01? So based upon these value, so we can place it into the block. So in the same way, so what is the value for the 4? So 100. So then what are the last 2 digits? 00. Okay. For example, what is the value for the 1? So what is the value for 1 is 001. Then what are the last 2 digits? 01. If you are observing the 5, so 01. So that means 1 and 5 are placed at the one block. Okay, I hope you all of you members may be able to understood this. For example, if you want to if you want to meet some particular person, okay, so for example, maybe just you assume like that, just I'm saying small example. If you want to meet some doctor, okay, so more than one patients are there, so then the compounder may be assigning some task. So he is having 3 rooms, he is having only 3 rooms available, so 3 waiting rooms are there. So then the first person will be placed at first room, the second person will be placed at second room, the third person will be placed at third room. So for example, if the fourth person is there, then again he is starting from the first room, so fifth person is in the second room, sixth person is in third room. So in this type of arrangement is there. So then and he knows so who is maybe first, who is maybe the last. So based upon that index, just only it is a waiting, okay, not based upon to the accessing. In the same way here also, we are placing the data item and we can retrieve easily according to that particular index. So this type of method will be followed in some type of index structures. Okay, so next we try to discuss about the indexing in DBMS. Okay, so this is the topic today actually. Okay, so what is the indexing? We also know about that. What is the meaning of index? We can find out easily. Okay, so indexing is used to optimize the performance of a database by minimizing the number of disk access required when a query is processed. For example, if we want to retrieve some particular record, so how we are seeing our result? So if the university is releasing the results through our roll number, am I right? So even though each and every university having so many, each and every university having so many students are there, but we can easily find out our required result by using index. Am I right? So the index is type of data structure. It is used to locate and access the data in a database table quickly. So index data structure. Index can be created using some database columns. So here we are mentioned the search key. So then according to the search key, it will be giving some data reference. Am I right? Structure of index. This is like this. So the first column of the database is a search key that contains a copy of the primary key or candidate key or some other key. So what is the key? Key is used for to uniquely identify the data. Am I right? So the values of the primary key are stored in sorted order so that the corresponding data can be accessed easily. So the second column of the database is data reference. It contains a set of pointers holding that address of the disk block where that value particular key can be found. So that means here we are using some pointers. So those pointers are maybe the links. So those are used for to refer our required data. So these are the types of methods. So I think this is our syllabus also. So one topic is related to the one type of topic. So if you are completing these methods, so almost we are completing our syllabus. So if you are discussing this topic completely, so maybe we are having 2 or 3 topics, 2 topics I think. Okay, so if you are completing that, we are completing this syllabus. Okay, so this is one of the important topic. Please try to understand clearly. And one more thing, so when you are explain these type of topics in the exam point of view, better you need to represent one need diagram. So are you observe or not? So for each and every topic I am showing one pic. So I'm not explaining that example clearly, just I'm giving the representation for the diagram. Why I'm focused onto the diagram means, if you are observing the diagram, then the examiner having the idea. So he can understand what you are saying. Okay, if you're observing here, so we can easily understood that. So indexing methods are there. So and those are mentioned into the different colors. So if you're observing here, primary index having the 2 types. So that means order indices is one method, primary index is one method, clustering index is one method, and secondary index is one method. But dense index and sparse index methods are the subtypes of primary index. We can easily understood. So here we are not understood through the colors. So just we are representing the representation only. Okay, so please try to observe clearly. So when you are mention the diagrams, so then the examiner can easily understood the topic. Okay, so now we try to see first of all order indices. Okay, the name is implies. Ordered indices means nothing but ordered means nothing but we are performing the sorting always. So here we need not performing the search. We can easily so retrieve or record. So the indices are usually sorted to make the search faster. The indices which are sorted known as a ordered indices. Okay. Suppose we have an employee table with thousands of records and each of which is 10 bytes long. If their IDs start with 1, 2, 3 and so on, we have such student ID with ID 543. Okay, for example, maybe. Okay, just assume like that. So in these type of situations, so we can easily find out. For example, our class having 60 members. So if I, for example, I want to retrieve the particular 40, so then how I can retrieve the 40 details? For example, if you are placing the assignments in my table. Okay, so if I'm arranging in a order, so the then I can easily retrieve our my requirement of the particular assignment. For example, if I want the 20, so who is number having the 20, so that assignment is maybe I want to try to correct that. So then I can easily retrieve that when I am arranging into a order. Am right? So that is nothing but a ordered indices. That is the advantage. Okay, in the case of database with no index, we have to search the disk block from starting till it reaches the 543. The DBMS will read the record after reading 543 into 10, 5430 bytes. In case of an index, we will search using indexes. The DBMS will read the record after reading 540 into 2, 1084 bytes, which were very less compared to the previous case. Okay, so now we try to discuss about what is a primary index and what is a dense index. So if you observe here, so primary index is there. Okay, so in the primary index, we are mentioned the dense index. Another one is the sparse index. Okay, I hope all of the members able to understood ordered indices. Okay, next we are discussing about the primary index. So I think the name is implies. We are based upon to the single search. So that is nothing but a primary index. If it dense index, so that is also a direct reference. But here, for example, maybe we are placing for example, maybe we are giving 10 books, okay, for to the 10 students. So just I want to distribute those 10 books to the 10 students. So who is maybe enter the first? So I will give the first book. If he is the second person is there, I will give the second book. If third person is there, I will give the third book. So if you observe here, so I'm maintaining the same order. First person for first book, second person for second book, third person for third book. For example, so I want to distribute in some different locations. So the first book will be maybe assigned in some location, and the second book will be giving into some other location. So then here maybe that will be identified with the same thing, but here order is different. Okay, if you observe, I think you are able to clearly observe through the diagram. If you observe here, please try to observe this UP. Okay, so UP having some pointer, that pointer related to the another record. So which type of data model it is? Can you say anyone, please? So we are already discussing about different types of data models. Which type of data model it is? Can you say anyone? Through respond through chat box if you know about the idea. So it is a network data model. We already discussing in the first unit, am right? So what is a network data model? So that can be having some pointer. That pointer will be points to the another record. If you are observe here, you be having some pointer. So that will be points one record. USA, Nepal, and UK. So if you observe here, so 1 to 1, am right? So now if you observe the sparse index, so UP having some ID, and here we are not mentioned the second one. So third one is identified with the Nepal, and fourth one is identified with the UK, and next one, if any other one is there, so that will be points the second one. So nothing but here we are not maintaining the order, but it will be giving the direct reference. Okay, I hope you are all of the members able to understood this. So first of all, we try to see what is a primary index. If the index is created on the basics of primary key of the table, so then it is known as a primary indexing. For example, if you are creating some table, so in that student table, so I'm entering the records like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what it means? So I'm maintaining some order. Am right? For example, if I'm creating the primary key in that table, I'm entering the rows like this. So the first person is 11, the second person is 100, the third person is 2. So if I'm entering the rows in this manner, is it here wrong? There is no wrong actually. Am right? So why? Because what is the purpose of primary key? So it is not accepting the duplicate values into the particular column. Am I right? But that is accepting even though we are entering into the different order. So just I'm saying that example. So for example, first I'm entering the 11, next I'm entering the 100, next I'm entering the 3, next I'm entering the 40. So even though we are entering in that order, it will be receiving that. So even though we are entering into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 like that. So that is also considered. So there is no wrong actually. So if we are enter the same type of index, so ordered index, so that is nothing but a dense index. If we are maintaining some different order, so it is like as a sparse index. I hope all of the members able to understood this. So just I try to read what is maybe available on the screen. Okay, if the index is created on the basics of primary key of the table, then it is known as a primary indexing. So if you are based upon the primary key, so that type of the indexing will be referred as a primary indexing. Okay, primary indexing. The primary keys are used to unique to each record and contain one is to one relation between the records. So nothing but, for example, if I'm giving 520 is there, then it will be retrieving only one record. Okay, as primary keys are stored in the sorted order, the performance of the searching operation is quite efficient. The primary index can be classified into the two types, dense index and sparse index. So nothing but here the primary keys are maybe entered into the sorted order or maybe the unsorted order also. So if we are entered into the sorted order, it is a dense index. So the dense index contains an index record for every search key value. The data file, it makes searching faster. In this case, the number of records in the index table is same as the number of records in the main table. So if needs more space to store index record itself. So the index records have to the search key and the pointer and the actual record on the disk. In the case of sparse index, so in the data file, the index record appears only for few items. Each item points to a block. In this, instead of pointing to the each record in the main table, the index points to the records in the main table gap. Am I right? So this is about the nothing but a primary index. Next, we try to discuss about the cluster index. Actually, here I'm not having the time to explain about this. So just I try to explain through the diagram. So please try to observe now. So department ID is there one. So here each and every department having single ID. Okay, for example, 5 is for CSC. So all the students having the same ID. Then how we can able to find out our particular student? So based upon this pointer. So if we are observe this pointer, so here it will be having some other indexes are there. Okay, so then here also if you observe here the same thing will be repeated. So then how we can find out our required record? Say hey, at this time of situation here based upon to the candidate key. So that means more than one attribute is needed for to identify the record. So if you observe here, so what you try to understand the concept, please. Okay, don't try to deviate from this. So if you observe the diagram, okay, I hope all of the members are able to see the screen so clearly. Okay, if you observe here, some block is there. Each and every block having some reference. That reference will be points to the more than one, but those are placed in some blocks. So this is one block, this is another block, this is another block, this is another block. So these are the group, but we are forming some based upon some index. It is nothing but a clustered index. Okay, and another thing here we are based upon to the secondary index also. So we also know about the addressing modes, right? We also know about the addressing mode. So what is nothing but addressing of direct addressing mode and indirect addressing mode? So what is a direct addressing mode and another one is the indirect addressing mode. So in the case of direct addressing mode, we are giving one reference. So nothing but we are specifying some location of the particular value of the variable. Okay, so that is nothing but a direct address. In the case of indirect address, we are giving some address. That address will be specifying another address. So where is the variable value is available. Am I right? So that is nothing but indirect addressing. In the same way, here also secondary index means here we are based upon to the two types of addresses are there. So more than one address is available. If you observe here, so if you observe here, secondary index, level index. So roll number is there, some pointer is there. Again, that pointer is will be points to the some other one. So nothing but here we are based upon to the more than one address. So I hope all of the members able to understood. Okay. So we will try to discuss about the remaining topics in the next class. If you having any type of the doubts, you can ask me now. So otherwise, I will end the session today. Okay. I hope all of I will try to complete this syllabus within the Saturday. So if I need extra classes, I will try to continue from the afternoon session. Please try to cooperate with me. Don't try to take it as one of the burden. Okay. And another thing, all of the members, all of the faculty members may be completing the syllabus in this month. No doubt at all. Okay. So if you're having any type of the doubts, you can contact your that particular concerned class teacher or class faculty. Okay. So if any subjects in if any problems, if you are facing any type of the problems in this subject, please try to contact me. No problem. So if you contact me, so then I will try to give you some solution. Okay. And all of the members, please submit the assignment within the time. Okay. If you are doing the late, so then you will be lose your marks. Okay. If you're having any type of the doubts, you can try to unmute yourself and try to talk with me. Okay. I will give you the chance to unmute yourself. Okay. If you're having any type of the queries, you can unmute yourself and try to talk with me. Otherwise, we will end the session today. So I will send you the material after the completion of this unit. Don't worry about that. Yeah, last date of the assignment. So when I am issuing the assignment from that day onwards, 1 week, I think. So I think maybe I'm giving the assignment on. So I think you are having the 26 before 26. So if you complete that, you can send me that. Don't worry. Don't wait that. And please don't try to forget mention your name and your assignment series also. Please mention assignment 2. Okay. If it is assignment 2, mention your roll number and mention your name. So these are so mention your roll number on each and every page. And when you are coming to the college, you submit those type of assignments in my cabin. So not only in my cabin, so you can submit all assignments for every faculty. So please kept those type of assignments in a safe place. Okay, don't try to forget. So my end session now. If you're having any type of the queries, you can contact me. I think all of the members having my number. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Anandal. Take care, all of you. Have a nice day. Take care.